So, how many people in the audience are currently doing something with 3D printing today? And keep your hands up. How many are thinking about doing something with 3D printing? Okay, so I think this is a great question. We really want to understand how each of you are utilizing 3D printing either in-house or outsourcing. Mark, do you want to talk about that?
We actually have been working with outsourcing models for a long time, and it's been working well for us. We've been using CMC and a couple other places. But at the beginning of the year, we did buy 2 of the Form 2 printers, primarily because we have a pretty good business doing surgical guides, and we wanted to bring that in-house because we were doing all the design work and paying somebody else to print them, and of course the turnaround time and everything else made that not as good as we wanted it. And when the Form 2s came in, especially at the price that they were at, which was awesome, we just felt it was the time to go. And right now we're doing 6 or 7 guides a day with very little problems. We've had some very nice things happen too. With the other guides that we were selling, the surgeons had to go ahead and autoclave them in a long period of time. With this material, we can go ahead and cold autoclave or cold sterilize it, and they can do it in 15 minutes, so that's making them very happy. And right now we're looking at different ways to utilize what we have, including trying to do some implant cases, modeless, and be able to create, I guess what we would call guides so that our people can put the implant abutment in the right position, because there's no way really for them to do that now. So, but we're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I know you have a couple of 3D printers.
Yeah, our lab is heavily invested in 3D printing. I think in total we might have 11. 7 of the 3D systems, the project, and then we have Stratasys, and we use them in different departments. So we found that the Stratasys is a fairly reliable printer, but it's more than enough accuracy for the orthodontics. And with the 3D systems, we could get the accuracy for crown and bridge, but the 3D systems are incredibly unreliable. I think if you come into our lab on any given day, probably 20-25% of the 3D printers are down, the 3D system printers. So it was a bit of a love-hate relationship. But I will say that having the ability to print in-house is a big advantage. You can control the models. One of the things that we did find out is that there is a big discrepancy even within our lab. On the same model printer, there's discrepancies in the accuracy of each individual print. So we found that once we got into intraoral scanning, that the accuracy of the models was very, very important. In fact, in some ways, modeless might almost be better, because if you don't have a very accurate 3D model, that you're changing the digital data from a crown to fit the model, which has some inaccuracy. So we go through a process to validate every single print. We want to be sure that the dies and the models are accurate before we adjust any contacts and margins. It's very time consuming. 3D printing is very, very expensive. I think it's one of the biggest expenses in our lab, and in some ways it's a real pain, but it's a necessary evil. So I think as you move forward, one of the things that we're really, really looking for is the next greatest 3D printer, and the two things are being cost effective and reliable. Right now they're expensive and unreliable. So that's a real concern for us moving forward.
Does anybody else have anything to say about 3D printing?
At Becker, we are using the Forms labs too also. We got into it probably 6 to 8 months ago. It's been nice to have there. I don't know if it's the most accurate thing out there. We are printing implant models with it. We're printing our regular die models. They've got a few different resins. It's been a nice introductory for our small lab to get into the printing realm. We're still looking at bigger printers and trying to figure out about printing night guards and go through that. But for us, the Forms 2 was just a nice introduction to printing our own models versus some of the times the stuff I get back that I was paying $20, $30 per model, I'd be so disappointed in. This is as well as accurate as any of the other stuff I was getting out from other outsourcing. So for me, it's really good, and I'd like to add to it in the future for sure.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just want to add in something there. So we have had a look at the form labs. I was actually speaking to them. So just for your information, the form labs right now is accurate to 50 microns. It's our experience in Crown and Bridge that a model has to be accurate to 35 microns. So we're talking about the die, and so that you can use it to fit your crown to the margin and the contact. So my understanding right now is that it's not accurate enough for Crown and Bridge models. It's more than accurate enough to print surgical guides. We print surgical guides on the 3D systems printer. If you want to be a implant studio certified lab, you have to go through a process where if you're going to print your guides, where you send them a guide for them to validate the accuracy of it. We actually struggle to validate the accuracy on our Stratasys printer, which was really strange because the Stratasys printers are sold as a guide printing. So I don't know if it was just something that we did, but we did validate it on our 3D systems printers. But it's my understanding though also that Formlabs is coming up with an announcement at IDS, which they might have some new materials, so there might be something there which will make it useful for models.
This is such a vast topic. I mean, there's so many applications for it, and in some ways, you know, I hear the necessary evil comment. I mean, you know, it's also the most accurate crown is one that you take the digital data, you mill it, and you don't touch it, and so it's kind of an interesting position to be in. Are there any questions from the audience?